What's up, everybody? I haven't done one of these AMAs in a while, but I'm doing one tonight. This is different from what I had planned for two simple reasons. One, wasn't fully prepared for the one I had planned for, which was a little thing I had in store about one Angel Reese. I figure I'll save that one for the weekend. And secondly, I had a great afternoon date with my honey, with my cutie pie, with my Dr. K. And then I came home after said date. She's working on homework right now. Which one is this? Trying to see what I'm doing here. The second reason is while she's doing homework, I saw BGS's stream, the great BGS. I saw his stream, and I figured, why not? Why not do an Ask Snowman Anything? And the subject that he brought to the forefront is a situation I'm in, and he posed a simple question: have black men left the building when it comes to being with black women? Now, remember, this is from my perspective, and I say, hell yeah, they left the building. If they haven't left the building, they're in the process of leaving it and leaving nothing behind while they're at it. People have to understand that black men now have choices. They have options. They have opportunities. And he played a clip from something Dr. Umar Johnson said. And what Dr. Umar said was while the black woman is waiting for the black man at the finish line, in essence, every other race of woman is waiting for that black man at the starting line to help him get there, to help him climb that mountain, to help him get to that first, second, or third opportunity. Before I go any further, let me welcome a few people and test this out. The Real Blackula says, Snowman, what's good? What's going on, man? How are you? How are you doing? Tunnel Runner says, have a great show. I definitely plan to. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, one of my faithfuls, says, sup, everyone. What's up with you? John Smith says, hey, brother Snowman in chat. Thank you very much for joining. Who else we got here? Jeffrey Massey says, good evening, all good brothers. Jeffrey, good evening to you, and thanks for stopping by. And if you can help the stream out with a Cash App donation or help via a super chat, that would be wonderful. But back to what I was talking about a moment ago. In answering the question of have black men left the building? Yep, and they're leaving in droves. I mentioned the clip played by Umar Johnson that essentially said while black women, I should say, are waiting for black women at the finish line, the other races of women are waiting for that black man at the starting line to help them get there. And when they get there, they're helping get them to that next opportunity. Rising Rhino is in the house, says, how are you holding up, Snowman? I'm doing good. He said I had to rewatch your last stream and not sure what's going on. Let me explain while I'm here, and this is an AMA, this is an Ask Me Anything. While I'm here, let me explain what happened to that last stream. Last night, or yesterday, I recorded 3 interviews for the Brian Snow Show. I got them all post-produced, and they are now posted, and 2 of them may wind up in sponsorships for the show and for my network. Crossing my fingers for that. Then, after I did the last one, I immediately got ready for Notre Dame and Georgia, which was my scheduled play-by-play call. Then I ran into a problem. I ran into technical difficulties, plenty of them, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what to do. So I took a little bit of a breather. I went to a break. I came back and everything was fine. And I had gotten into a good flow. Then I started having technical difficulties again. And then simply put, just hit the wall. And I couldn't explain why until someone mentioned a term to me. And that term was burnout. I didn't realize how burnt out I was. If you want to, you want to hear how I did that and how my emotions came out, look at my last edition of the Brian Snow Show, also on my YouTube channel. Kenneth Smith is with us as black women are waiting at the finish line with a nasty attitude and wondering why black men aren't interested. Ain't that the truth? Because by the time the man gets to the finish line, the interest is poof. The interest is done. The interest is done skis. The interest said adios, and I ain't coming back. The phrase goes, go where you're appreciated and not go where you're celebrated and not tolerated. That's something I had to learn. And I had to learn that the hard way. I got married at 22 years old. 22. I thought I was in love. Wrong. Had no idea what love was. This is a salute to everybody that's in the building right now. Drop your questions in the chat. I'm here for a little while. And you see this, if you looked at the thumbnail, you saw the subject. John Smith, one more time, says, and not only are BWs waiting, quote, at the finish line, close quote, they're also waiting there with bastard kids, student consumer debt, prescription meds. Brothers will be insane to take that, quote, deal, unquote. Well, true on all counts. When I met Jody, my beloved, she had went through and was going through a lot of stuff. A lot. All right. And then I come along. And referring back to BGS's stream that just completed, there was something he kept mentioning that was said, and it's so true, that white women will pour into you. And that's the truth. I mean, Jody got me to see that I had depression. Jody got me to see that I was still dealing with grief from the loss of my daughter in 2015. I had been homeless. I dealt with a shitty roommate. I dealt with some people that I thought were my friends, but wasn't. I dealt with an ex that wouldn't leave me the fuck alone. I dealt with an ex that became abusive. You know, one of the greatest gifts that my wife has given me, understanding. That's one of the greatest gifts she's ever given me. Tunnel Runner one more time. And Tunnel Runner, I love you for this. My snow buddy serves me every day. She is happy to feed me. Hey, mine too. And I'm happy to feed her. Jeffrey Massey with the $5 super sticker. Thank you very much for that. Back to this comment right here. She is happy to feed me. Yep. And I'm happy to feed her. I'm happy to help Jody around the house or with the house. We had a great talk on New Year's Day and wanted to get our direction going to see how we can handle being here for the next 3 to 5 years while she works on her doctorate and while she graduates. And while I blow the piss out of Snowman Multimedia and get it to the level that it needs to be, is going to be, everything like that. Sick Diggy joins us from Norway. Says good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thank you, Sick, for joining. Brother Truth Be Told is in the house. Salute to you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. And Kenneth Smith says, see, white women calling out black women on that engagement video was both funny and refreshing. Ain't that the truth? Because we have been called out for years at a time. we had been ridiculed for years at a time. We had been told we had to do twice as more to get half of the women that we essentially don't want. More to the point, don't need. Find the lie. But as I was saying, Jody and I had a great conversation on New Year's Day about where we want to go. How are we going to handle being here for the next 5 years? And we both came to the first major agreement between us for this year. And we were like, let's just live, man. We're going to be here a bit. Let's make this home, which goes back to the an Amber Alert. All right, sick. Lay the Amber Alert on me. Which goes back to the deal that we made when I came out of the hospital. She says, since I'm going to be doing most of the job working out of the house and paying the bills, can you help me out by taking care of the house? Absolutely, and I will. And I promised her that I would. I had fallen off that promise, quite honestly. Uh, I really had fallen off that promise. I did. I did. And I fell off hard. I did, man. Let's just let's just be totally real about it. I got lazy. I got complacent. I got content. Yes, my legs were hurting. Absolutely, my legs were on fire. My body hurt. Everything hurt. I was depressed. Everything, every damn thing. And I used it as an excuse to hide. There, I said it. I used it as an excuse to hide. I used it, you know, there was some extenuating circumstances, certainly. Were they financial extenuating circumstances? You're damn straight, because I'm not working yet. Then my body started to disagree with me. And once my body started to disagree with me, I was in trouble. Serious trouble. I didn't know what the hell to do. I didn't know what the hell to do. But you know the greatest part about it? I'm figuring it out. I am so happy that I'm figuring it out. It has taken much longer than I wanted. Taking much longer than I needed. Come on, let's be real. Much longer. Ben Simmons was last. Give me this button. Ben Simmons was last seen in Houston, Texas during Christmas week, partying and acting a fool with the Houston Texans roster. No wonder the Texans lost to the Ravens. Oh, man. Why you got to pick on Ben like that? But like I said, I was having my conversation with Jody. Then I came on here later that night and had a conversation like this. And it made me realize a lot of things. But you know what the greatest thing, the greatest thing I got? The greatest thing that I got from opening week of the new year, clarity. Lots of clarity. Lots of clarity in realizing that I have a woman in my life that is giving me her all, man. Every single day. And when she told me she had spent a lot of time in taking care of me, which she does, and to many points she still does. It's like she gets it. She also says she has to start taking care of herself and getting herself together. I said, you know what? You're right. I just have to follow that example, follow her example. And once again, she has shown me a great example. Which leads back to the stream that I was watching before I came here this evening. If people only knew, there were so many examples, so many of the Exodus happening. And it's a huge Exodus. Huge. And there's more of an Exodus happening every day when black men decide, you know what? I don't need this shit anymore. When they decide, I don't need this. What's up, A Pizzle? When they decide, I'm going to be myself. When they decide, I'm not going to be put in this goddamn box anymore. And it's a box, believe me. It's a box, and I can speak to this. It was a box that was painted by my mother for many years. A box that said, quote, a black woman is your best bet. A box that said, quote, you need to marry somebody that's like your mother. A box that said, quote, you would be lucky if you were to get married. I heard it all. As a black man that is in an interracial marriage, and I underline and capitalize the word marriage, I've heard it all. I heard all the tropes. I heard all the explanations. I heard all of the reasoning. And yet it brings me back to something my dad said many years ago. Be yourself. And hearing all, you know what, my mother, when I got divorced in 1999, I was having a bad day one day while I was living. I had just moved back home from Minnesota in 2001, and I was having a horrible day physically. I felt sick to my stomach. I couldn't move. My dad was at work, and I just couldn't get going. I just couldn't get going. My mother came upstairs and heard me because I had fallen back to sleep. And she called out to me, and I had this look on my face that screamed,
What is it, man?
my mother looked at me as if to say,
You tripping.
and went back downstairs. And I'm like, what? What did I do? And then I thought,
You fool!
it's becoming her attitude. It really became real after my dad died because, and I say this all the time, and it's the God's honest truth, a switch had been lifted. Something had been flipped. Something flipped. All these little snide ass comments would come out. Like the one she gave me day after Christmas. Was it 2013, heading into 2014, when a friend of the family dropped by and proudly said to his girlfriend, this is Brian. He's a radio sports announcer. And my mother looked him in the eye and said, quote, oh, please, he's nothing but a wannabe.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
You really can't. I had never been that quiet nor that seething in my life. I had never been that angry. You see, sometimes you would think,
Are you kidding me?
no, nope. She looked him in the eye and said, I was a wannabe. And I think,
Now that's some bullshit.
aside of the death of my daughter, that's the most quiet I've ever been because I was that pissed off. I was that pissed off that my own mother would say such a thing. But she did and was proud about it. She was absolutely proud about it to the point where she repeated it. I'm not kidding, to the point where she repeated it. And again, you just have to think,
Are you kidding me?
and I'm not kidding. She repeated it, and then in another incident, while I'm getting stuff off my chest, and this is an Ask Snowman Anything kind of stream, in another incident, I was downstairs in the basement watching the Bulls Nets game. And while I was watching that game, my mother tapped on the basement door and we got to talking about the game. And then my mother posed the question, is that the team, it was the Brooklyn Nets, that Jay-Z owns? And I said, yes. And then my mother followed it up with the question of, well, with the statement, I beg your pardon, of, I wish I could meet somebody like that can make some money like that. I pointed the finger at myself and I said, you have. He's right here. Do you know my mother laughed at me and shut the door and walked away? She laughed at me, shut the door, and I heard her saying, "Oh, please," as she walked away. There I go, being seething mad again and being silent at the same time. And John, you're right. And Sig Diggy, so are you. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. But Damien, ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? The God's honest truth. Now I look back at those times where I was struggling to put it together and think about the things that she said. And I just think,
You for real. You for real.
she absolutely was. Just like this is going to be a tough one. Just like the time when my daughter was born, my daughter Donna. When my daughter was born, I got congratulations from everyone whom I told about her. What's up, AB Media? I got congratulations from everyone whom I told about her except for two people. Take your guess as to how those two people were. Oh, or whom those two people were. I beg your pardon. I'll say it again. When my daughter was born, March 6, 2013, that was one of the happiest days of my life. Another happy day was soon to follow, but that got intercepted. I'll tell you about that later. And Sick, you nailed it. Right there. More to the point. You know what my mother said to me? And I quote, "Are you going to be there for her?" Let me say that again. My mother said out loud after my daughter was born, "Are you going to be there for her?" Had I known about this back then in 2013, this would have come to mind.
So I realized that I think even though it's not advertised,
Right.
there has to be a place for stupid people. We don't know because we're not stupid, so we don't know anything about it. It's like a secret club society.
Oh my gosh.
So I come to the conclusion that he graduated from SU, stupid university. Yeah, and all the stupid ass letters that go along with graduating high honors of being stupid. I can't do no more, man.
Aminos, dominos, vamonos. Stupid university. Where everyone graduates. Magna cum stupid.
She actually said, "Are you going to be there for her?" She'll be 12 in March. She would have been 12 in March. I beg your pardon. She'd have been 12 in March. I lost her at age 2. My sister took a look at her and said, "That's not your daughter." What? Steve?
What?
Yeah. That's the answer I got when I told him from those two. When I told him about Donna, I got,
What?
and I'm thinking,
Euphoria.
yeah, Sick. God rest her precious little soul. And I know Jody and my dad would have, I know Jody would have adored Donna. I think Donna would have been not just a daddy's girl, but a mama's girl too. I really believe that. Mr. Shug, what's going on? I have 18 people watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the super chat, support the show. Hit my Cash App, support the show. And let me put my Cash App back up there really quick. Because not only is this for me, it's for my family. But like I was saying, I know that my wife would have adored Donna. I mean, in every sense of the word. And yet from those two I get, she's not yours. Matter of fact, my sister said to me and looked me in my eye and said, "There's no way that she's your daughter." And y'all seem to wonder why black men have left the damn building like they were running out of a fire. John, you bring up a true point. They're somehow shocked that less and less men of any race want to be around them. How about taking a peek in the mirror at your attitude? Let me tell you all this story. My sister called me to inform me that mom had died. I lost it. We were living in North Carolina. I lost it. Because as much of a chasm as there was between my mother and I, we did have some great conversations, and through the phone, she got to meet my wife. And the most wonderful sound that I heard was my wife and my mother picking at me at the same time, and both of them laughing. I loved hearing that. Then this happened. I lost my mother to colon cancer. Nicole called me and said, no. And the way that Nicole said it was cold. Nicole says, quote, "You know your mother died."
No!
That's for her. Jody came back. We were running an errand. Jody stepped into the store, came back out, saw me crying, put her arm around me, and she says, "What's going on?" And I told her, I said, "Mom died." You know what Jody's next question to me was? When do we leave for Chicago? There's the difference between someone that loves you unconditionally and someone that loves you with reins. Give you a guess as to who belongs where. But that was Jody's next question to me. When do we leave for Chicago? And before I could answer it, she looked at me and said, "We'll leave tonight." And we did. We left that night. Made a pit stop at the in-laws, caught some shut-eye, got up to Chicago. And before I could get to Chicago, let me explain another reason why black men have left the building. Before I could get there, we got as close as Crown Point, Indiana. I called Nicole, who told me where to meet her the night before. Keep this in mind. Nicole called me and told me where to meet her in Chicago. Okay? Keep that in mind. The next day, when we got toward Crown Point, I called Nicole just to make sure that we were still meeting at the same place or to find out if we were meeting somewhere else. As it turns out, the answer was option C, neither. Why, you ask? Mr. Suge, South Side, baby. Matter of fact, let me find something here. Mr. Suge, this answer your question? I'm a South Sider to my heart. But we were pulling into Crown Point. We needed to refuel, so we stopped at a speedway.
Would you like a couple cookies?
Helping the ladies from a distance. Hey, Mr. Suge, are you still in Cabrini Green? Are you still in Chicago anywhere? Because I live near Morgan Park. Matter of fact, I was right in the middle between Morgan Park and Roseland. Morgan Park to the west of me and Roseland to the east of me, both separated by about a mile. So I was right in the middle on right toward 111th Street. And as I said, I live near the Morgan Park area. Matter of fact, I was in my own version of the triangle because wife and I used to live in the triangle in North Carolina, Chapel Hill, Durham, and Raleigh. My triangle on the south side was Roseland, Morgan Park, and then Beverly to the north of me. So you had the Beverly area to the north of me, you had Roseland to the east of me, and then you had Morgan Park to the west of me. Bowerhammer says, "I'm okay. I'm glad you tweaked a button to put the audio on." Yeah, yeah. Just had to help the ladies with something. Mr. Suge, I'm out in Oswego, far west. So I know where Oswego is. I know exactly where Oswego is. I had to do a game out there one night, but I'm familiar with the area you're referring to. Yeah, I was right in the triangle. Right in the triangle of 111th Street. Actually, Beverly was 2 miles to the north of me. Roseland was a mile east of me, and Morgan Park was a mile west of me. But yeah, getting back to the subject at hand, when I called my sister when we were going to Chicago to visit, my sister asked me, "Why are we coming? Why are you coming to see me? What are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we meeting?" Because you wanted to see me and I hadn't seen you for a while and I wanted to say hi. Gentlemen, buckle up. Because the next response I got was this, and I quote, "If you think you're going to get any money, you can forget it because it's all mine." Mr. Paul Allen?
Are you kidding me?
Master teacher?
Now that's some bullshit.
My old stomping grounds memories. Yeah, man. Hey, Suge, you remember Evergreen Plaza or Ford City? I used to frequent the arcades out in those malls, in those big malls. But yeah, that's what Nicole said. Why are we meeting? She said, "Why are we meeting?" I politely told her, and I think this is why in general black women have been so vicious to me and black men like me, because I politely told her, "Until you apologize to my wife and to me, do not talk to me again." And I hung up the telephone. Then I went completely berserk. And in an area where my wife was so scared that the police were going to come by and put me in handcuffs, and they had every suspicion to do so, a couple of brothers out there recognized that I was going through a lot of grief. And in many ways, to present day, I still am. They came over, gave me a handshake, and gave me a hug and said, "We're here for you." I didn't even know them. Yeah, that happened. That happened. Stories of why black men are leaving in droves with yours truly. Shout out to Black Guru Strikes. Yes. But it's not fair to be a man that's immediately judged. Let me try that sentence again. It's not fair to be a black man who is immediately judged because of stereotypes. I can't tell you how many times I have been unfairly immediately judged because of stereotypes. The All Stars in the house. What's up, All Star G? Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Salute to the Snowman. Thank you very much. I'll say it again. It is unfair for a black man or black men like myself, because I know there are others. I've spoken to them, doing an interview with them, to be immediately judged by a few sets of stereotypes. For instance, I'm not supposed to sound like this. For instance, I'm not supposed to speak like this, but I do. I remember a conversation I had with my mom, and why don't I just show you? I will let you all hear who one of my broadcast heroes is, and I know Sick knows this name. One of my first ever broadcasting heroes, actually my first four actually, were on a national television stage, were Dick Enberg, Pat Summerall, Brent Musburger, and Dick Stockton. From a local, I didn't see Scott come in here. What's up, Scott? Good day, mate. From a local broadcast standpoint, the year was 1985. And I was listening to a basketball game on AM 560 WIND. And I heard the voice of the fellow who gave me the nerve to go after my dream in broadcasting. His name is Jim Durham. And I knew I wanted to be a broadcaster.
Pressey looks to bring it in. He comes in and throws it away. The Bulls have it. Here comes Michael Jordan on the drive. 5 seconds. Jordan on the drive, right of the lane. 18-footer. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
And I'm going to let this roll a while, because I want to invoke a sports point with this as well. This is the old school stuff that made me want to be a broadcaster. I would tape games like this off the radio and try to repeat everything I heard. But yeah, this is the voice that led me to broadcasting and also led me to a lot of ridicule.
He turned it over off the inbounds pass. And what happened is Cummings saved the ball. So they get it to Michael Jordan, wrap around the back. Takes it, looks for three. It's not there. Goes in the free throw line, up over Jeff Sitwell. What does he find? Nothing but net, but points 49 and 50 for Jordan to give the Bulls a lead. 117 to 116. Michael loves it. This is their first lead in the second half.
That's the fellow who gave me the bug. Right there. I repeated a lot of voices over the years, but that's the fellow who gave me the dream, Jim Durham. If I point to any local hero that made me want to be a broadcaster, it's Jim Durham. KP from KC5. You weren't supposed to dream, which is exactly the I can't, the word is escaping me right now. The trope that we're still supposed to believe. We don't, but we're supposed to believe it. And you're right, Byron, the dream starter. Yes, indeed. You know what else something that many, many years later gave me a thrill? One of my other favorite announcers of all time is the legendary Wayne Larrivee. And I played a trick on my Snowman in the Morning crew when I was able to do this. I have a surprise. And I didn't tell Victor about this, but I clued Shane in and only a few others. And Victor is going to faint when I say the following words. Please help me welcome the voice of the Green Bay Packers and legendary football play-by-play voice and my good friend, Wayne Larrivee. Joins me right now. What's up, Wayne?
A living legend, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
I met this fellow at Hinkle Fieldhouse, and I recognized him. Yeah, I got to welcome one of my heroes in Wayne Larrivee to my morning show. And Pops was my biggest supporter. How am I tying all this into the question of the night and our subject of the night? My father supported my dream and my mother tried to kill it in every way, shape, form, or fashion. Let me say that again out loud. My dad happily supported my dream and my mother tried to kill it from the day I discovered Jim Durham. You willed that situation, better believe it. I'm proud to be a simp. Thanks for joining tonight. I appreciate you. Let me read this from Mr. Shug. My divorced mom and dad came to live with me and my wife and kids when I was just 22 and expected me to take care of them when I had been on my own since 15. Had to cut it off after a few months. Damn straight. Damn straight. Because in 2014, after I got the, oh, he's just a wannabe comment from my mother, when I was covering Marquette Catholic in Michigan City, I got the chance to travel with the team. I took off and never looked back. I never looked back. I didn't go back to my parents' house. I didn't go back to my mother. I just said, screw it, and went fast forward and no looking back. I'll say it again. My dad happily supported my dream and my mother tried to kill it. When I told my wife what I do, she didn't ask where the money was. She just asked me a simple question that she asks to this day, and we've been together 7 years. What are you doing each day to make your dream a reality? She also put a little sense into my head and said, you got to think the way the government thinks. They all see this as a hobby because you're not bringing in a ton of money yet. That got me thinking, you know what? Jody has a point. Jody's got a hell of a point. There we go. I said, Jody's got a hell of a point. I didn't realize that. And some days I still don't because I'm so excited to do what I love to do. And this is a part of it. Speaking to you guys, treating this as a therapy session and just getting it out there. Yesterday, to realize how much I was burnt out was huge. Today, I was on a roll and creating some new sets for Snowman in the Morning and getting some other things done, and then the missus came in and walked by me and flirted, and we were out the door. Electrician 480 with the $20 super chat. Thank you, Electrician. Very, very, very appreciative of you. But this is all tying in to what is now becoming a very heavy, fast, and seismic paradigm shift. It had been in parts. It had been in parts. Okay? It had been in parts. But now, with it being 2025, it's all the way out there. And I love it. And I'm here for it. If you can find it in your hearts to help old Snowman and his family, not just with a super chat, but with a CashApp donation, as I try to get my vehicle back running so I can get back on the road and do Uber and DoorDash and bring some cash in to help the family, that would be great. Let me shout the people who helped me over Christmas so I can give Christmas to my family. Thank y'all for that. That was fabulous. But y'all know me. I want to do more with my family and for my family. Had to make a tough choice. I was still trying to play catch up and just getting the family I chose off the ground, even though they left me out there to figure it out on my own. I get it. I get it, man. We're all we've got. Yes, we do. Some others are toxic, supportive, and always making snarky comments to put you down. Have to keep distance from these characters. Borrowhammer, you are so true. Let me tell y'all something funny. You know who I talk about this with more than anybody else? My wife. Because my wife made a comment to me that we laugh at, but it seemed so true after I met them. And that's when Jody said to me one day, quote, I think your mother and my mother were cut from the same cloth. Because the same shit that my mother used to give me about my dream, Jody's mother gave to her. Let me say that again. And to those of you that have met my wife here when she pops on with me on stream, or have seen my wife on social media, or have heard of me speak of her so many times here, she said to me, oh, thank you, Suge. I appreciate you. She said to me, I think your mother and my mother were cut from the same cloth. And Sick, to answer your question, yep. Yep. And to think it's 2025. Oh, let me read this. I never got supported in what I wanted to do as far as acting years later, and I end up making 3 phones of my own and a local TV show. Now my mind is on making millions of dollars. Proud to be a simp? I have a simple question for you. How can I assist you? I mean it. I mean every word of it. How can I assist you? How can old Snowman help you out? Red Planet Photography in the house says, salute, Snowman. Hey, salute to you. I appreciate you. Are you sure your mother-in-law isn't a black woman? and Sick, you know that inside joke from what Jody did and how BGS responded a couple of years ago. So I love that comment right there. Oh gosh. But yeah, she got the same things that I got. She got the exact same things that I got. Blame it on BGS. Always. That's Jody's brother. That's Jody's new brother-in-law now. But I'll repeat a point that BGS has said many, many times over. The gynocracy is quite real. And it's a lot fucked up. Let me pose a question to the gentleman here. And I want your honest answers to this. I want y'all to be as raw and as honest as I'm being to you guys and with you guys. Why do you think that black women tell black men not to dream big? Let me repeat the question. Why do you think that black women tell black men not to dream big? And I'll couple it with the second tier of that, not to chase their dreams. Why do y'all think that is? And I want you guys to be as raw and as real and as honest with me as I'm being with you guys. And Red Planet Photography supplied the first answer to hold us back. Absolutely. I agree. I agree. You can't make this up. You already know some of the stories I told you, because my mother wanted me to pursue computers when I was in college. She wanted me to stay at the University of Illinois, Chicago, or go to Chicago State University when I graduated high school. I said, the hell with that. I'm out of here. I had small offers from Nevada, Las Vegas. I had an offer from the university. I had a scholarship offer, small as it is, from the University of New Mexico. I even got accepted at the University of Illinois. But I wound up going to Northeast Missouri State University. And why did I go to Northeast Missouri State, not knowing what the hell I was going to face? Because I wanted to get the hell out of the house. I can say it now at age 52 and both my parents gone. I wanted to get the hell out of the house. Red Planet Photography with the first answer to my question to hold us back. Scott follows it with, they are scared of success because of their own insecurity and failures. Bingo. All-Star G, because they want to control us. Scott, one more time. So they put you down and bring you down to their level. And Mr. Suge caps off the first round. Tell the boys not to dream big, but teach the girls to be delusional with the expectations. Oh my God, yes. Proud to be a simp at this time. Not all the biggest thing that helped me. I ran into a brother from Chicago years ago that taught me about metaphysics and taught me how to will my situation. But if I need, I'll ask. I'm here for you, man. I mean, everywhere. And I'm here for everybody. All the brothers that came with all the men that are here with me in the chat. I'm here for all of you guys. And I mean every single word of it. I mean every single word of it. Whether it's a listening ear or you need to use my website to advertise something, or a radio commercial, or video, or a television commercial, because I can do all that now. And I taught myself how to do it. I learned so much from broadcasting just by doing it. Also, if anybody needs access with the entertainment on a major level, I do have a strong content. Let's keep it a buck as a business. No disrespect intended. None taken. None taken. And while I'm throwing a few jokes out there, let me throw this one out there for Proud to be a simp. I love your name, my friend. I love your name, my friend, because This pretty lady makes me be a simp every day. And I mean it. Oh, Lordy, I mean it. But you guys have been wonderful to me. I mean it. I mean it. Ooh, love this answer right here. Black mothers usually want to control their boys and destroy them so they can have them around the home as slave, son, husband. Bingo. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, burnt the some bitch when I got done with it. Speaking of t-shirts, okay, we talked earlier in the night about the difference between a black woman not wanting to have anything with you, even though they're with you, and a white woman pouring into you. I called my dad Pops for many, many years as an adult. You know what my wife got me? This shirt right here. Let me open it up. It says, Pops knows everything. If he doesn't know, he makes stuff up really fast. I can't tell you how much I appreciate Jody for getting me that shirt. And he couples it with this because they want to be able to control you. Yep. Y'all want to hear something? Y'all want to hear a sad yet funny story at the same time? Try this one. 2011 was going through some hard times. I was back living with my mother, and I just was thinking about purchasing a car so I can get. Matter of fact, I had a car. I had a car at the time, so I can get around and get to my games and everything like that. But then, unfortunately, that bit the dust. But when I was living with my mother, and I was so down on my luck, I didn't know what to do. I went to the food stamp office, and Mr. Shug, 119th and Halstead. Is my mother from the islands? No, she was a South Sider born and bred. Went to Morgan Park High School, as a matter of fact. I went to the food stamp office to try to get some help. Gave me food. They immediately approved me. They gave me an emergency supply of food stamps, and it was my intent. It was my intent. I know we know the same people. Yeah, Shug. Like I said, brother, 119th and Halstead. In that little strip mall, just when you get off the bus at 119th Street. But I went in there, they gave me emergency food stamps. They gave me no issue because I wasn't working at the time. And I dare not tell them I'm working. What's up, Detroit 313? And I dare not tell them I'm working on my dream as a broadcaster. I dare not tell them at the time that, I don't know, I was able to cover the Chicago Bulls, even though I didn't have transportation to get around. Somehow, some way, my mother found out I had food stamps and stuck out her hand for my food stamp card. And then when I refused, the next day she said, either you give me a food stamp card or I kick you out of the house. And at that point in time, that scared the shit out of me because I had nowhere to go. And I was just getting some momentum with a couple of high schools in the Chicago area. And I needed to look nice and I needed to be at my best, even though I wasn't feeling my best. KL, thanks for subscribing. Dr. D, I missed your comment. I'll read it now. You met a brother from Chicago. I'm assuming that's a typo. I think he meant brother. Could you explain who you encountered in Chicago? What did you learn about metaphysics? You know what? Proud to be a simp. You want to talk about that on here on the show one day? I'll be glad to have you. But after dad died, my mom completely flipped over. That PGS has saved many lives, mine included. And I only discovered him a couple years ago. And his content confirmed that I had made the right decision with who I'm with. And let me show you guys something here. I didn't get a chance to do this when I got home, but there's the wife and I. There we go. At Panera. We were at Panera Bread earlier. Let me show you a better picture. Hang on a second. Let me show you guys a better picture. There's my beauty. There's my honey pie. Right there. That's my Jody. 7 years. 6.5 years, but 7 years, basically. And we've been together. Been together almost 7 years. Time has flown since we've been having fun. Am I muted? Can you guys hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. If not, I'll do a quick reset. I'll read this. Black women always seem to know when a black man has something, but somehow never know when a black man needs something. Okay, so you guys can hear me. Byro Hammer, why don't you do a quick reset on your computer? Not a full reboot, but just like hit the reset on your browser. Ignat's Mouse, one of BGS's favorites. Where's Crazy Cat? I remember that cartoon. I would wake up Sunday morning watching that cartoon. I'll tweak it again. There, how's that? But Dr. D and Scott and Sick Diggy can all hear me. And I just done another tweak. Mr. Shug, thank you for the Cash App. I appreciate it. And somebody else sent me a Cash App also. If y'all can help the household with a Cash App or a Super Chat tonight, and I'll be on again tomorrow, that would be appreciated. That would totally, totally be appreciated. I'll be here for a few more minutes while we're talking about this subject here. Sean Ryan broke the news. China drones everywhere, and Biden administration hasn't done anything. Just like the what does that have to do with what we're doing here? Somebody put Hippie J in timeout for me, will you please? But back to Ignatz. Ignatz, Crazy Cat was a cartoon I watched every Sunday morning. Didn't know what the hell it was. But then I watched it and I couldn't stop watching it. Just like George of the Jungle. George of the Jungle, Crazy Cat. There were 2 others that I couldn't stop watching on Sunday mornings before football, of course. That's it. I can hear you again. All right, cool. Cool. Thank you. But yeah, my mother threatened me with booting me out of the house if I didn't give her my food stamp card. My food stamp card. Let me say it again. My food stamp card. A piece of me was coming back into focus. And then that happened. And I just think, son of a bitch. You want to know what her excuse was? So she can buy the groceries in the house because she didn't trust me to shop correctly. That was her excuse. Said it to my face. Then my sister Nicole tried to tell me, well, she did it to me too, which is a lie, as I found out later. Thank you, Remington. I ran into the Manosphere years back. I'm talking about BGS Coliseum days. What scared me was all the brothers that were talking. I went through the same thing and said, "How the hell is that possible?" I'll tell you how the hell that's possible, and how the hell it keeps happening. But to quote Sick Diggy, with my mother threatening me with kicking me out of the house if I didn't give her my food stamp card.
Now that's some bullshit.
Mm-hmm. It is straight up grade A homogenized Holstein bullshit. Bullshit. I'd hung in for 2.5 years. I hung in for 2.5 years, even though I spent a year in Indianapolis, living with the woman who would turn out to be the mother of my child. We were making plans, and that got intercepted. That is a discussion for a different time. And the full story about meeting Jody is a story for a different time. Because what I'm going to do in an Ask Me Anything one night is tell the whole story about how I met my beautiful wife, what she did for me, I for her, and just tie the whole story together. I got Scott says I got kicked out at 15 by my mother, and all my possessions were set on fire in the front lawn. And you were 15, and if you tried to do something about it, it would completely backfire, and it will be blamed on you. Am I in the ballpark, Scott? All kicked out at 15, all your stuff set on fire, and yet if you responded to it and said, "Give me my stuff," you'd be in handcuffs or close to being in handcuffs and told it's your fault. Am I in the ballpark? Am I in the ballpark, Scotty? All because I would not give her money from a part-time job. You know what, Scott? This will be the last one I'll tell tonight. I'll do another one of these like tomorrow afternoon. My sister had a part-time job at Jewel Osco, and Mr. Shug, one more time, at 114th and Halsted, right before 115th Street. She had a job at a local Jewel Osco on the south side. You know, my mother not asked her for not one penny. Nicole gets a part-time job, gets all the support in the world. I'm busting my ass to graduate, and I got barely nothing from my mother. Fast forward, 1998, my nephew's born with a hole in his throat, gets all the support in the world from mom. Fast forward one more time, 2013, my beautiful baby girl is born, and all I get is, "Are you going to be there for her?" And if y'all are wondering something, hang on a minute. Let me show you something. You know what gets on my nerves each and every day? And the more I think about it, the more pissed off I get, is the way that my mother, even though I tried to convince her, Where are you? Where are you, baby girl? Trying to find a picture of Donna. Hold on. There we go. What pissed me off was my sister got all the help from my mother necessary for my nephew Remington. And she wouldn't do a thing to welcome this pretty lady right here. This is Donna. This is my beautiful baby girl. She was born March 6, 2013 and died March 9th, 2015. This is Donna Marie. This pretty face right here, she would not acknowledge it. She would not say hi or anything like that. Hold on a minute. There you go. There you go. That's my girl. That's Donna Marie. That's one of the reasons I fight every damn day, even though she is no longer physically with me. She's in heaven right now talking to my dad and talking to my grandpa. This lady right here. Take a look at that face. Take a look at that face. You mean to tell me as a grandma you wouldn't help your son with this pretty lady here when he was going through all kinds of hell? And not necessarily with the woman who was her mother, but with the family thereof. This pretty face right here, she was 2 years old when she passed away. You know the most fucked up part? Yeah, she looks like Liz. And those eyes are a whole bunch of me. You know the most fucked up part about this, folks? I had to go through that alone. I had to go through that alone. Proud to be a simp. My mother is driving me nuts. I left home with nowhere to go. Was homeless for 2 years, but that was better than being home. Agreed. Did I ever get an answer from Scott? No, I didn't. Okay. Responding to proud to be a simp. I know where you're coming from, mate. Me too. All-Star G. According to black women, black men exist to serve them. Ain't that the truth? Found that out growing up later. To all of you that survived your parents, man, oh my God, respect to you because I know that we were thinking about suicide. Proud to be a simp. You weren't the only one. That's another thing Jody and I had in common. Have in common. And again, I think
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
you really can't. You really can't make this up. You can't even begin to make this up. My watch got stuck. Yeah, thanks, bro. I knew Donna was going to be an athlete. I just knew it. Never had a chance to materialize. I was forced to give her up. Matter of fact, I lost my daughter twice. Once to adoption and the other time to death. Let me say it again. I lost my daughter twice. Once to adoption and once to death. When I lost her to adoption, I had nowhere to go. nowhere to turn. I dare not tell my mother what was going on. I was the longest ride home from Indianapolis in my life. And I love taking the bus to and from Indy. I had the money to do it. I had the chances to do it. Well, let me go. But thank y'all for coming out here tonight. And thanks to those who sent who sent a Cash App. This channel is going to listen, because half the stuff I said in here I wouldn't say. You found a way to make men open up. You know what, simp? Proud to be a simp. I'm finding a way to open up even more. And I want to use that as an example. I want to use that as an example for any and all men that have gone through hell. One more time with Scott, the last conversation I had with my father was when he was told incorrectly that I had $1 million compo payout when he asked for money, and I told him it was incorrect. I never spoke to him again. My father's response, I'm waiting on the response, but I can tell it was a negative response. I get it. I get it. I get it. Hell, I was the voice of Trinity International University in Deerfield, Illinois for 5 seasons. 5 years. My mother still had her goddamn hand out. That's why I had to change my mailing address, so she wouldn't find out I was getting paid. Hell, the last straw, 2012, when I met Liz, mother of my child, I knew I had a check coming from High School Cube. The trick was to race home and beat my mother to it. Mela 2 says, ask anything. Yeah, bring it on. Bring it on, Mela. Ask me anything. The trick was to race home and beat my mother to the mail, because I knew the day the check was due, I had to beat my mother to the mail and grab the check because it was pretty significant, and not let her know where I was living, because I was basically living in Indianapolis. I didn't make it. I didn't make it. I didn't make it back to the house in time to stop my mother. I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, as it turns out, when I got home, Mom had opened my damn mail. Found said check. Do I hate my mother? No. I hated her attitude. I hated her actions. I hated the way that she treated me versus the way she treated my sister in our adulthood. I hated all of that. It made me, the man upstairs made me understand what the hell happened too after my dad died. I completely understand now. So Mela, let me answer your question again. Do I hate my mother? No. Do I hate her actions? Yes. Do I hate her attitude, especially when I became an adult? Yes. I hated her attitude and I hated her actions. And I hated the way that she treated me in my adult life. But let me tell this story, and then we're going to get on out of here. I knew I had a big check coming from High School Cube, and my brother Victor Locke is in here, also a Southsider. I knew I had a big check coming, and they called me and told me it was due on a Monday, on the following Monday. So I had to race home from Indianapolis, make sure she didn't get the check yet, because if she did, I knew what she was going to do. And I also knew I had 100 questions coming my way. I didn't make it. Because as I was flying to the house, thank God my mother was asleep, I came in and I found out she opened the envelope and found my check in there. That pissed me off. And I said, you know what? I'm done. I grabbed the check. I grabbed a couple other pieces of mail, and I broke camp. And the only reason I had to return to my mother's house is because of the shit that I was going through with Liz's family, basically not accepting me because we had different colors, if you get the idea. And the fact that I gave Liz a child. And the fact that I was a hell of a father. And the fact that those some bitches called DCS on my ass. All those times I could have used my mom. But as I told you, I hated the actions that she took. So no, I did not hate my mother. I will never hate my mother. But I abhor her actions. I abhor her attitude. To answer your question, Sick Dicky, Liz's family called DCS on me to try to get me thrown out right after Donna was born. We had just gotten into the apartment and gotten settled. Liz called her friends. They all came over. They supported me. They supported her. They kept telling me, you're going to be a great father. And the next thing I knew, 48 hours later, DCS was knocking on the door. Henderson Bancroft, what's up, man? How are you? If you all are inspired by the stories I've shared and what you heard, then do me a favor and drop me a Cash App, will you? Need everything I can to help my family right now. But let me answer your question. We had just gotten, Liz and I had just gotten home with Donna. We were setting up everything. We had talked the day before. Liz said, are you going to move your stuff here? Yes, I am. Because I can easily run my business from Indianapolis and still keep my Chicago base with the people that I have there. And Victor, Mark Farina, and like 2 other people said, we got the Chicago office. Go get your family. The day after we had that talk, we had a knock on the door from DCS in Indianapolis. And I straight told them, give me a reason you're knocking on the door or you ain't getting in this apartment. I was ready to go to war. Then Liz reminded me that I was outnumbered. She said, think of how many people are in my family and think of how you'll be proving them right. Yeah, that happened. That happened. So I was getting treated unfairly by Liz's family because I had Donna and because I had Liz. And I was also getting it from my mother because I had Donna. Mom didn't know about Liz. And because of her attitude, I say I'm glad she didn't know. When I lost Liz, because of her family, they encased her and brainwashed her. I had to move back home with my mom. And at the same time, my sister was living there off and on. And it's like, are you kidding me? They could be at it. I've made this comparison so many times over. Sick Dicky has heard it. I know Victor has heard it. But they could be at each other's throats 1 minute and the next minute they're cackling like witches at a goddamn brew. I'll say it again. These two black women, my mother and my sister, can be at each other's throats 1 minute and the next minute they're cackling like witches at a goddamn brew. When I moved back home, the end of the remainder of March 2013, I had plenty of baseball to keep me busy. Thank the Lord. So I used it. Roosevelt University kept me busy. Roosevelt University, home to the Lakers. I will never forget them. Because I got treated with Mark and I got treated with respect. Mark and I got treated like family. Mark and I got treated like brothers, even though I was black and Mark wasn't. And God rest you, Mark Farina, my dear, dear friend. I had to find a couple of old broadcasts with Mark Farina, and I'm going to listen to him. And I don't do it to torture myself. I do it because I miss him. I miss Mark. Anyway, the last straw, and I'll leave y'all with this for next time. The last straw for me was when I lost Donna, and my mother kept saying, when are you going to get a DNA test? Yeah, All-Star G. The downtown campus. Those same kids that opened up the Goodman Center in 2013. I had a chance to cover them for baseball for 2 years. Those Roosevelt Lakers, the green and white. When that baseball season ended, I didn't realize how hellacious the end of 2013 transitioning into 2014 was going to be for me. So to answer the question of the night, have black men left the building? They left that building and set that sumbitch ablaze. Let me say it again. Have black men left the building, as BGS asked earlier tonight? Well, not only have they left the building, they set that sumbitch ablaze. And I'm proud to say I'm one of the ones that set that sumbitch ablaze, and I don't care what people think anymore. I judge people by their character. not by their skin color or their race. Period. I judge people by their character. That's how it's always been for me. That's how it always will be for me. Took a picture last Thanksgiving with my wife and my children, all in tow. Carmen, Sonia, Cheyenne, Dakota. It was Jody. It was me. What do you think the difference was in that picture? Matter of fact, I'll see if I got it. I'll see if I got that picture. Matter of fact, you know what? This is Cheyenne, my beautiful baby daughter. And I said it. She's my beautiful baby daughter. This is Dakota, my bouncing baby boy. Oh, there's more. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. What the? Damn it. Damn it. Shit, damn it, and fuck. I'm sorry. While I'm showing off pictures, I may as well show a few off that we had throughout 2023. Soldier Field. It's me and my wife, Jody. I had a picture with Vic too. Yep, here it is. Me and Vic sharing the mic again at Soldier Field. You got a couple of mischievous redheads in that household. Damn straight. Wouldn't trade it for nothing. Oh, and to the people that think I can't do this for a living. That gentleman in that picture is the fabulous voice of the San Antonio Spurs and my dearest friend, Mr. Bill Schoenig. We took that in Indianapolis last year. And if all goes well, I'm taking my wife to Charlotte next month. Here's the picture I'm looking for. Thanksgiving weekend. Left to right, you got Sonia, you got Carmen, Cheyenne in front, Dakota in the back, my wife Jody, and then me. And you know the best part about this picture? There's nothing but smiles in that. There's nothing but smiles in that in that picture. There's nothing but smiles in this picture. We had a grand time for Thanksgiving. I always have a grand time when I'm around my family. And here are 4 of my grandchildren. But we always have fun. That's what we've learned. Sick Diggy made the comment, you got a couple of mischievous redheads in your family. You mean these two? Carmen and Cheyenne? You mean everyone in that picture loves each other? Not possible with black women. Ain't that the fucking truth? Matter of fact, why don't we close by doing this? Sick Diggy, you know the game we're about to play because you've done it with me on the Coliseum streams. I think All Star G has done so as well. I'm going to tell a story, and it's going to have a million answers. I'm already a bad influence, man, with all of my dad jokes. All right, let's play a game before we get on out of here, because we're at the 1 hour 49-minute mark. Yeah, let's play a game before we get out of here. Okay. My wife and I were living in North Carolina, and we decided that we were going to go to a place called Cookout one day in Raleigh. I was in Durham at Starbucks doing my show and doing my office work there, and my wife was working in Raleigh, and she said, "Honey, come get me. It's lunchtime, and I want to eat. I'm on my way." I left. She called me about an hour before her lunchtime. I packed up. I went zooming out of there down to her office in Raleigh and grabbed her, and we went to this place called Cookout. Now, when we got to Cookout, we just expected to get our food and split, which is what we essentially did. However, my beautiful wife, her spider senses go off quicker than mine. And her spider senses went off at the young lady who took our order. Now, you all have seen Jody and me. Jody looked at me and said, "Honey, get your wallet and get your card out quick." What? And then I heard the lady's voice was taking our order, and I'm scrambling to get my wallet. Drove up to the window, and Jody's driving. Okay. I drove to pick her up. We switched seats, and Jody drove us to lunch. Here we go. The lady that looked out and took our order, and I mean every word of this, had a weave down to her ass, dragging nails. And when we got there and she handed her our card, we got the look from hell. Now that I've told you the backstory, here's my question. Yes, oh, good God. Let me drop a couple of more details, All-Star G. And to the gentleman in the chat, let me drop a couple of more details. Told you about the weave, told you about the fingernails, told you about the voice. I didn't tell you about the lips. I didn't tell you how shiny those lips were. I didn't tell you how much mascara she had on. Or as the late, great David Carroll said, war paint. I didn't tell you I can judge she had and tell she had at least about 1,000 pounds of war paint on. Now here's my question. What do you think was going through the gynocracy's mind? Because there was more than one in Cookout. What do you think was going through the gynocracy's mind when they saw me and Jody? I'll wait for y'all's answers to come in. She had more lip gloss than that, sick. What do you think was going through their minds? And yes, I said there because there was more than one of them in the gynocracy at Cookout in Raleigh, North Carolina. What do you think was going through? I got the bell already. so you had to get my Yep. Oh, and let me describe the look that she shot to us. The run. Oh, Victor said it in. Couldn't listen. Mixed drinks. Mm-hmm. You should be with me instead of her. I love it, Victor. I knew y'all enjoy that. I just knew it. I knew y'all enjoy that. Any more answers I need to look at? No. All right. Okay. I'm gonna go. Oh no. I can't refuse that answer. You hate your mom. Oh, what I miss? What I miss? Hold on. Hold on. Did I miss one? You don't need to tell us. We already knew. Yep. What did I miss? Send it. All Star G. Send it again. Is she his parole officer? I'm not reading it, but I'll post it because that's exactly what she was thinking. But you all get the idea of. Wait a minute. Oh gods. You know what's sick? Like I said, but y'all get the idea of what Jody and I have been through for 7 years. And you all get the idea of why not only have black men left the building. Oh no, Byro. There goes another one. They hate us. It's not fair. And they seem to forget it's totally fair. Oh gosh. All right, you guys, let me get the heck out of here. I'm going to crash early. I'm going to find a game to do tomorrow, and then I'm going to cover it. Oh no. All-Star. Hey, All-Star G, I have a bonus for you.
Tell me, what is gay?
And yes, that's the master teacher himself delivering that line. On a serious timbre, I hope the question has been significantly answered. Yes, they are. And Jody asked me today, what games are you doing this weekend? I'm going to figure that out before I'm going to figure that out before I go to bed. Oh, Jesus. I love these answers y'all have brought in tonight. And I appreciate you. I do. I do. I appreciate you guys so very much. But let me get on out of here. I don't have a closing. Well, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I was gonna say I don't have a well, I can't put it here. So I will just do this and I will say good night. Good night, folks, and thank you.